Thomas is a diesel engine who lives at a short line railroad in the state of Pennsylvania. He's a cheeky diesel engine with 6 axles, a short stumpy exhaust, a short stumpy fuel tank, and a short stumpy horn. And this is how this thing came into existence. The Haynes and Kibblehouse Railroad is a small privately owned industrial railroad located in the quaint town of Birdsboro in eastern Pennsylvania. The short industrial line serves as a small quarry with mineral trains running between the quarry to an interchange point with Norfolk Southern, where the Class 1 railroad delivers the loaded stone trains across the Norfolk Southern system. The branch was originally built for the Erie Railroad during the 19th century, when the railroad was reaching out to various industries to serve local communities in the Avonside region. The line would eventually pass into small ownership around the mid-20th century, when the Haynes and Kibblestone Company absorbed the line, operating it as a private rail company into the 21st century. Then again, information on exact dates is unknown, so bear with me on this. When it comes to a locomotive roster, it was pretty small considering the limited operations, with the 2 locomotives responsible for the mineral runs being a pair of EMD SD38s. Both of these locomotives had the same operating lives, both built in July 1969 for the Detroit, Toledo, and Ironton, and they would share the same ownership changes, surprisingly enough. But the subject for this video is number 2002, or 6252, or 252, let's just get into it. This unit was originally built in July 1969 as DT&I number 252, with the SD38s being used to haul auto parts, fresh automobiles out of Detroit, and manifest in and out of the Motor City and across the Midwestern United States, surviving all the way into the days of the Grand Trunk Western when the DT&I was absorbed in 1983, with 252 getting renumbered to 6252 and wearing a fresh coat of GTWs compared to the more plain DT&I orange. 6252, alongside the other SE38s, continued to serve for the GTW until CN grabbed its grubby hands on the good track road and threw away the SE38s in 1999. 6252 was sold to Progress Rail the same year, and later sold to the Reading Blue Mountain and Northern in the new millennium, alongside a few other GTW SE38s. 6252 was renumbered to 2002 following its new ownership, although the RBMN wasn't its permanent home, as 2002, alongside 6250, was sold to Haynes and Kibblehouse in 2005 for use on the short industrial line. In 2002 was repainted to a dark green livery with HK branding, and, the best part of all, it gained sentience. But why would the railroad paint a face on an EMD?
Huh?
Was this a sponsor from Hit Entertainment? Did Thomas stuff his soul into an SE38? Well, faces on locomotives are usually rare, and are usually done to appeal to children, such as when the auto train painted a face on a U36B, or this Alco with a small face on the nose. The exact reasons for this is pretty vague and rather limited, considering the rather obscurity of this industrial line. But I did stumble on this Facebook comment on HK's own Facebook page, which states that the face was added due to the owner's son loving Thomas the Tank Engine and the TV show, hence why the Thomas-style face was put on the front of the SE38. Then again, if this is true or not is up for debate, so take it with a grain of salt. But this does seem a pretty logical explanation, considering the styling of the face reflects how Thomas's face looks in the show. And saying that, it does provide a rather fun quirk for an otherwise obscure industrial railroad. You know, I'm merely surprised that nobody at Hit Entertainment or Mattel really brought this up and tried to sue the railroad for its clearly Thomas-inspired face. And well, because this is the type of companies we're dealing with. I mean, I guess they ignored it considering the railroad never painted the locomotive to look like Thomas. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. I'm not really knowledgeable on this type of stuff, so if you have your own theories, I'd love to read them down in the comments below. Regardless, the pair of SE38s continued to operate on the line throughout the 2000s and into the 2010s, working the same day in and day out mineral runs for many years. Which kinda gets repetitive, so to speak, much like a certain era of the TV show. But hey, at least they were proving their worth as really useful engines, right? But as the narrator often says in the show, then there was trouble. By 2022, the two SE38s were worn out and falling apart, and the railroad ended up buying two SC40-2s that were retired from Norfolk Southern. I wonder why. This resulted in the SE38s to be retired and later scrapped, the faced one included, with the locomotive's parts being reused to keep the -2s alive. I wonder where I've heard that before. Today, the line is still pretty much in operation, with the SC40-2s manning the trains. And, unfortunately, none of them are sentient, and are still wearing their NS livery, albeit with the HK branding. So, aside from the motive power change, the line is still operating the same way. I didn't expect this video to have such a sad ending, but given how time passes and locomotives begin to age, it results in eventual retirement and scrap. While it's been well over 4 years since the talking EMD was scrapped, it's remembered as a fun novelty from a small industrial railroad in the heart of Pennsylvania. Its reason for its face was due to the love for the TV show that the owner's son had, and in turn, provided a niche and quirky way to show someone's love for the little blue train, on a contemporary workhorse that does what Thomas does in the show. Just without the confusion, delay, and the accidents, and the explosions, and falling off a bridge. Its career was uneventful, sure, but it served the various railroads it operated on pretty faithfully, and without issues. Whether it operated in the Motor City to the Anthracite territory, it's remembered by the workers that operated it, and the rail fans that photographed it, as a really useful engine. Hey y'all, so this was a fun way to cover Thomas and Friends on the 81st anniversary, compared to, last year when I dragged Winnipeg out to watch a Thomas movie. But, I am well aware that I'm not the first person to talk about this, because aforementioned Winnipeg did cover this in one of his earliest videos, but I did want to present this in a more serious way and give a proper explanation as to why this engine exists. And also because I'm pretty sure Winnipeg wants to forget about his old videos. But yeah, this was a fun one to research, and like I said, I love diving into rather obscure stuff. Anyways, yeah, that will do for today's video. I will see you all, I don't know, whenever I upload another video. So, Take care, folks.